You can't fully heal if you're holding on to shame. What is shame versus guilt versus self-accountability? Shame is when you are actually kind of beating yourself up over something. Guilt is maybe there's a guilty behavior, something you wish you didn't do. But healthy self-accountability is taking that guilt and shifting it into self-accountability, not into shame. We tend to shift it into shame. I'm Dr. B. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner with over 25 years of experience. But I'm going to share some intimate experiences where I felt shame. I've lost 3 children and my husband over the course of 20 years, and I often speak of grief and trauma. But I'm actually feeling the anxiety and energy as I'm about to talk about shame. And how do you shift shame and guilt into self-accountability and just being a better person, showing up better for yourself first, right? Because shame is not showing up well for yourself. And guilt is, acknowledging the behavior that you want to change. But it often shifts to that shame. So let's talk about that. What would I have you do first? In the Mentally Strong Method, we do a thought map. And a thought map is you start with a thought, feeling, and then you map it out. And so if I started with shame, and my most recent experience of shame was with my daughter's death. And my daughter had a rare neurodegenerative condition, but she really was not that sick. She had seizures, but maybe once a month. They were fairly well controlled with medication. And although she had nursing care, I often left her alone at night to sleep. And I'm going to tear up here, and I'm going to push through. In 2021, my daughter died in her sleep of sudden unexpected death and epilepsy. No trauma, no obvious seizure, just died in her sleep. And the first thing that I thought was, I should have been sleeping with her. I should have done this or that, and I should have known. And that turned into, I'm not a good mother. I'm not a good nurse. I let my daughter die, right? And so if we were taking that and looking at it in a thought map, I would kind of put bubbles all over about the day that my daughter died. And then the next question would be, when have you felt like that in the past? And this often confirms the shame that you are feeling. Because the day that my son died, I wasn't a good nurse either. He was having difficulty breathing, and he had often had experiences like that. And so as a nurse with oxygen in the house, I chose to not take him to the emergency room. I'm not a good mother. I'm not a good nurse. That's shame. But we go deeper because even though those experiences feel like, absolute truth right there, many of the ways in which we show up and believe about ourselves and the world has to do with our past. So I always ask, when did you feel like this as a child? And I had an eating disorder in my teen years through my early 20s, and there was a lot of shame around that. Shame that I couldn't control my eating. I couldn't be self-disciplined. I wasn't good enough to do the right things, to eat right and be healthy. And then the last question we often ask is, how does this impact your spiritual relationship? Well, I believe that there's this God that supposedly loves me. And if I were to do good, if I was a good person, then God would pour blessing out on me. I truly believe that. And so that would come out in my thought map. So you see how, just going through and asking those questions and really mapping out the way you feel, because oftentimes you're like, when you're sitting in that shame, you truly believe it. And it's hard for someone, even externally, like an external counselor, to talk you out of that. So that's the self-accountability that I teach in the Mentally Strong Method. Like, we are accountable for how we speak to ourselves. So I want you to click the link below and download our Think, Organize, Choose worksheet. And this is kind of the overview of the Mentally Strong Method, right? It's the first thing that we talk about. Can you think through your problems? Can you organize them? Can you make choices in line with what you want? So if I were to take that thought map that I just verbally went through with you, and I began to organize it, obviously there's grief. I lost children. There's also trauma. Reggie's life was trauma. He was very sick for 10 years in the hospital, breaking bones during seizures. Like, his whole life was trauma. And then the morning that Maya died was trauma for me. So I have grief and trauma, but those are dealt with differently. Then what about behaviors and choices? This is what we're talking about here with shame, guilt, self-accountability. We make mistakes. I made a mistake both of those days. And so writing it in my behaviors and choices, category is important for self-accountability. But right? That's taking accountability for an action. But if I start saying, I'm a bad mother, I'm a bad nurse, and that's all that keeps coming up, that's not self-accountability. That's negative self-talk, right? And that's a whole nother category. We are responsible for how we speak to ourselves. And so in the category of negative self-talk, the whole point is to replace those negative thoughts with ones that you can believe, right? And I'm going to do that right now. I am a loving, caring mother that would have done anything for my children. That is an absolute true statement. I'm actually a pretty good nurse. And so that leaves a spiritual conflict of, if I would have done something different in those two incidences, would the outcome have been different? And believe me, this was not just a sit down and pray one time type of deal. This was over a course of many years of wrestling with God. That I know for certain that the outcome wouldn't have been different. And in that spiritual journey of wrestling with, and I talk about a singular God, but it's not about that. It is about figuring out your spiritual conflicts so that you can grow. We are physical, emotional, mental, spiritual beings. And so figuring that out for yourself. And for me, it also was a journey of connecting with my children. I can say now that I can sit and go into a prayer meditation and I can hear from all three of my children. I can hear from my grandmother. I can hear from my husband. And I have that eternal connection forever. But that was going through that spiritual conflict. So you see how when I say think, organize, and choose, right? You have to organize those things. I couldn't have just said, oh, this was God's plan and this would have happened anyway. That would have been inauthentic to myself. I had to organize that. I have to process and feel the pain of my grief. I have to process and release my trauma. Take accountability for my actions, not speaking ill of myself, right? And this is a constant thing. So the mentally strong method can be used over and over and over again. So my choices here were, grief, I'm going to feel this pain and I am going to learn to grow around this pain, right? And then the trauma, I'm going to learn what pieces of this were trauma and I'm going to process and let those go. That is the choice, right? And the think, organize, choose. So we've organized it into these different categories. Now we get to choose what we're going to do with it. And so in the behaviors and choices, I can take self-accountability, right? Because if I turn my guilt into shame, I'm attacking myself. If I turn my guilt into self-accountability, I'm loving myself, I'm forgiving myself, I'm wrestling with my spiritual conflict, and I'm coming up with a spiritual belief system about what occurred. And that is very intimate and personal. You cannot let someone else tell you the spiritual meaning of a circumstance. And oftentimes people try to do that, and they're doing it out of love. I had several people, this is God's plan, or, they're in a better place. Those are all true, but I had to come up with that myself. It had to be authentic to me in my journey. So that's what we mean when we say think, organize, choose. If you haven't downloaded that worksheet yet, download that. That'll put you on our email list and you will be invited to watch my documentary. I've got books, I've got courses, intensives, a clinic in Colorado Springs. If I can be mentally strong, you can be mentally strong. Continue watching the mindset shift that changed my life.